On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
Believe as a woman that I can't ever really reach the apex of my form without orienting myself to a man, right? So and I think the happiness aspect has a lot to do with, again, what makes the woman happy. So I think a lot of us women now do associate, and we're paying all this attention to the numbers. And I'm not, again, I wouldn't say to a woman not to pay attention to the numbers, but I don't when it comes to a man. Like, what I'm trying to do as I'm trying to figure out things better now is pay more attention to the character of a man, right? So when the notion is that women should not look at a man based on potential, I somewhat disagree with that with regard to his like productiveness in the world, as far as like what he has in assets or income and things like that right then.
And they get their heart broken based on potential. They saying, I'm dating this guy. He got the potential to do this. He got the potential to do that. Then they get their heart broken. And that's a short-term solution. You can only live on hope for potential for so long. A long-term solution would be somebody who have resources. Everything that these men complain about, and this when I take women's side, these men complain about, oh, she's not fit. She's not this. She's not feminine. Well, how feminine do you want a woman to be when she's working a 9-to-5 job? She's taking care of kids. She's doing everything. You want her to wake up at night, suck and fuck you, do whatever the case may be. And then now, when you sending her into that workforce every day, and then she have to compete. How feminine do you think of a woman that would be when you know her job requires her to be a go-getter? So now that feminine stuff is not a light switch. You just can't say, hey, I'm finna be a boss at work. I'm finna cut on my boss like switch. And I'm home. Hi, honey. I'm gonna cut it off. No, you can't. And then with the whole fit equation, because I had an argument with one of my homeboys. Me and him is retired. We sit at his house and drink all the time. His wife go to work, take care of the kids, go to football practice, cook, do everything. And he said, well, you getting fat. Well, I said, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you make her stop working and afford her the time to do that? Because I'm looking at her from the outside looking in. I'm looking at her work schedule. I'm looking at everything she do. Me and you sitting on the couch drinking, looking at football all day. And then she's moving and shaking. And then you're going to ask her to go to the gym. How about if you had the amount of resources that she needed, you can afford her the time. Resources buys you time. That's it.
I disagree. I honestly think you're either feminine or you're not. I don't really agree with this narrative that working is going to make you masculine. I think it's just an excuse for women to like be rude to their husbands.
Okay.
Like, I think you're either feminine or you're not.
I'm asking you a question, Miss Pearlie. Man, you got smoke now.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Have you
I don't buy
ever
that.
known a female that was in the military?
Yes.
All right. In the military,
my best friend's in the military, actually.
So this is a good example then, right?
Yeah.
She have to be strong or she'll get ran over. She gotta be fast or she get ran by.
Mm-hmm.
Certain occupations like the military and all these other boss type jobs, it takes a certain type of person. So now by living in that environment and doing that, ideally, that's why the most feminine women in the world, if you go back in time and you look, my best time was the medieval time. Women was women. Guess what they wasn't doing? They were not there busting their ass working like that.
They were just for their man.
Oh, no,
yeah,
well,
I mean, I disagree because like my friend, she's pretty feminine and she doesn't act like a dude just because she's in the military. Again, I just think it's an excuse that women tell to men to like convince you this, but it's just nonsense to me. The other thing is like, I don't know why girls are complaining about doing like housework nowadays. Like you have to do your own dishes. What's one more?
Yeah,
and everything's automated nowadays. You got a Roomba, you got a vacuum, you got you got an air fryer. Like you're gonna tell me, oh, it's too much. It's like, I mean, you have to cook for yourself, don't you? Like you might as well.
But when we talk about the military, and
wait, one more point. And what percent of women really have?
Hold on, Lash. Hold on, Lash.
One more thing. What percent of women really have masculine jobs? I mean, like, come on. Like, what percent of women are really in the military?
What
percent of women are really like career go-getters? Like, they're teachers, nurses. Like,
the percentage of people, period in the military is 0.7%.
Well,
and the percentage of that of females is 16%.
Wait, hold on,
Bruiser. Hold on, because Elijah was next.
Bruiser. I'm sorry. We're not talking about masculine jobs. We're talking about jobs you're in charge. That hits different. Look, watch this. In the military, female commanders suck. You know why? They always been overboard. They have to go and try to be what a man commander would be, what a man leader would be. And if they can do that naturally. So for your friend, you said that's in the military, that you said that's super feminine.
I wouldn't give her a 10. I'd give her 1 to 10. I'd give her like a 6.
And you know
She's always been like that. Like her level of femininity has always been the same.
Watch this. Look. Do she got a boyfriend or a husband?
She's a boyfriend.
Ask him. I bet he'll give her a 2.
All right, y'all. We got to get to the panel so we can move on to the next topic. Go ahead, Carmen. Answer this question: can a man make a woman happy without no money?
I mean, short and literal answer, no. More so just because being able to rely on like the boundary that man generally provides between us and nature, is now evolved to be so monetarily dependent. Like once upon a time, he could build the house and we could have a garden and things like that. So you wouldn't need, money. But now I think it's in a literal sense required. But I would say personally, for me as a woman, a man does make me, right? Like does that mean I just sit around totally unable to function without a man, or am incapable of developing skill and different things without a man? No, but I do personally believe as a woman that I can't ever really reach the apex of my form without orienting myself to a man, right? Like, and I think the happiness aspect has a lot to do with, again, what makes the woman happy. So I think a lot of us women now do associate, and we're paying all this attention to the numbers. And I wouldn't say to a woman not to pay attention to the numbers, but I don't when it comes to a man. Like what I'm trying to do as I'm trying to figure out things better now is pay more attention to the character of a man, right? So when the notion is that women should not look at a man based on potential, I somewhat disagree with that with regard to his like productiveness in the world as far as like what he has in assets or income and things like that right then.